Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we are going to jump into Chuyu's individual reading. So, I have something to announce before we continue. I find it very weird when I finally figure out how to say Chuyu's name, because for the longest of time we will just see the romanization and my sister and I will just call her Tzuyu. But then we realized when we watched a couple of Twice shows, we realized that her name is actually pronounced Chewy, or something along those lines. And I thought that was funny because in Mexico we have a nickname for a couple of names, just kind of established nicknames. There's not a particular reason why that is the case, but for anyone called Jesus, we call them Chewy for some reason, and it's kind of like the equivalent of when you have a William, people call them Bill. And when you have a Richard, they call them. And that's why I just thought it was funny. Like, I feel like I'm just calling her Chewy for no reason, even though that is her name. And I wanted to put that out there because I thought that was very interesting and amusing. But putting that aside, in this video, we're going to check her current energy, her career, any love messages, and any healing messages for her. And I just thought it was funny because my throat kind of just closed a little bit when I said her love and healing messages, so who knows what's going to be there. Right off the bat, I feel like she has a lot to say, or there will be a lot to read for her, even though we don't have that many decks in front of us. So I thought that was very interesting. But yeah, here we have her tarot decks, and here we have her oracle decks. Let's jump into Chuyu's current energy to see how she is currently doing. I wonder if some people wonder, like, why are you doing current energies? And the answer is, I do them to get an idea of where they're coming from or where they're currently at, and that will definitely help, because when you get some cards, you could be like, this is super bad, but if you check what energy they're in, you're like, oh, it's not that this bad thing is going to happen to them, it's just that they're not in the right energy, so that those cards will pop out or something like that. So let's see, how is Chewy currently doing? Okay, hold up. Since my hands are small, I can't really shuffle this once. Okay, for Chewy's current energy, how is she doing? We have the Lovers. True love that is long-lasting. Choices made from the heart. Return to good health. So if I'm correct, she is a Gemini, and the Lovers is a Gemini card. The Lovers is also number 6, which is all about equal give and take. There also seems to be a sense of, right now she's trying to come into union. I know that once we're joking, saying that she was going to get married off or something, because she mentioned that she got her fortune told. I just thought that was interesting. We have the Two of Autumn reversed, so something is definitely out of balance with her, and whatever is out of balance is bringing her to not be grounded and stable within her life. So there is something definitely off somehow, so the Lovers kind of shows that she's trying to bring herself back together. We have the Ten of Cups reversed. The Ten of Cups usually means someone that is emotionally fulfilled and satisfied, and they have a sense of happiness, like a happily ever after. And usually the Ten of Cups could also show, depending on the other cards that are there, something in relation to family, but like creating your own family. And it's also the end of a cycle because it's a Ten of Cups. So it feels like something is definitely off. I'm just not too sure what is. Something put her out of balance. It could be her family, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case. What is going on with Chuyu's current energy? What is she going through right now? You have the Ace of Autumn. She's starting something new, so maybe she's in step 1, but she hasn't made it to step 2. So she knows she wants something, but she's not completely there yet. You have the Four of Winter, so she's definitely thinking and contemplating something. She's thinking of and reflecting of what her next step would be potentially, or she wants to start establishing a long-lasting love project or stability. This is leaning heavily towards love, so that's weird. I say that's weird because I for most of Twice, I definitely got a lot of career focused individuals, and I'm not saying Chewy's not focused, but right now she seems to be thinking a lot about love. Yeah, a lot about love. We have the Emperor reversed. We have the Chariot. So there's this sense of movement. Again, the Emperor reverse kind of goes more with there's this sense of not feeling stable, not feeling there's this sense that maybe she doesn't feel like she's ready to take the next step because she lacks the stability she's aiming for. And there's also this sense of she's about to start something new, a new chapter in her life, a new project, or a new endeavor, something that is supposed to be long lasting, and it's taking a while for everything to settle down. So she's reflecting and thinking of what her next moves will be. We don't have fire so far, so that kind of tells me that she doesn't have actions established yet necessarily. So okay, we have the World, we have Unity, and then we have 5 of Autumn reversed with the 3 of Wands. I mean the 3 of Spring. Okay. So there's very big changes that she's going through right now. We have the Lovers, so that's definitely something in relation to new opportunities, new choices that have to be made, or ideas and communication going through. I do feel that this is a union. It could be between another person and her, as much as it could just be a union within herself. There is a sense of starting something new with this Ace of Autumn, and then not being able to take the next step, which is a 2 of Autumn, which is a time where you're able to balance a bunch of things at once and have stability and grounding energy. There's this 10 of Cups, so there's definitely something that she doesn't feel like she has accomplished, or she doesn't feel emotionally fulfilled, because the 10 of Cups is usually happily ever after, so it does feel like she hasn't gotten that yet. We have the Emperor reverse, so the Emperor is Aries energy. We have Aries, Gemini, Cancer, and then we have the World, Unity. Unity is Taurus energy. So definitely the beginning signs. So we have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer, and those 4 signs are like the beginning stages of ourselves. So those are the first 4 houses, which is the way that we see ourselves, communication, our values, and home. And the first 4 houses of astrology are usually like the childhood phase of a kid, not of kid, of a person, right? So it's definitely like, it could be about her self-image that she is focusing on. There's this sense of having to move and travel and do new things, but it feels like she can't do that until she can't take that step until she goes into this internal journey, if that makes sense. Because we have Unity, which is the Hierophant. We have the Lover, so there's this sense of, my head is spinning. My head is spinning. So we have this sense of union, but then there's this sense of not feeling completely stable right here. Like, she doesn't feel stable. There's this sense of movement and taking the next step, but she can't take that step until she has grounded herself somehow. So there's this sense of having to find herself before she can take the next step, but she can't take that step necessarily because she still needs to ground herself. You have the 3 of the 3 of Spring, and the 5 of Autumn reverse. So she knows that she's not alone, and she doesn't seem to doubt that. Usually the 5 of Autumn is someone that feels abandoned, they feel left behind, they feel like this change has made them be unstable, or this change that has occurred to them or happened to them has caused them to be left to their own devices, to find their own resources and figure out for themselves. But it's reversed, so this tells me that she knows she's not alone. She knows that she has people to work with. She knows that there's this sense of having to work with people to get things done. This 3 of Spring usually shows having to have a little bit of patience Because if this is in relation a project in relation to business and career, then this is actually a sign that she's not alone, and she will be able to expand worldwide or work with other people, or internationally. And there's also this 3 of Spring usually shows that it's a good time to write contracts and work with other people business wise. However, I do feel that before she can take a step like this, potentially she will need to continue doing self-reflection to be able to turn this energy upright, right? Feel empowered, feeling balanced, and feeling emotionally fulfilled. So she kind of needs to continue reflecting, so like that she can turn these cards upright, this energy of someone that feels this masculine energy that is ready to move forward, get things done, the emotional aspect of it, to be fulfilled, to be satisfied, to be stable, to be emotionally prepared for the next step. And of course, balancing her spiritual and her physical side, her emotional and her intellectual side, and the practical side, and all of that thing, right? So there's this sense of having to find some stability within her, have a union within herself before she can make a union with other people. And the only way she can turn those cards upright is if she has a 4 of Winter, meaning that she just kind of does this internal work to continue figuring out what's working for her, what's not working for her, what's getting in the way, what's not getting in the way, figuring out what she wants as well. Because I do feel that she's not emotionally fulfilled because she doesn't know what she wants necessarily, and she knows, she said she's like a clean canvas. Like, there's this clean slate of like, this is your beginning, what do you want now? And when you have a clean canvas, you have to sketch, how is this image going to turn out like? How is this image going to look like? What do I envision? And then she can start painting, if that makes sense. That's a metaphor I got. And then we have the Chariot and the World. So there's this sense of movement, and then fate working with her to continue moving. The World is, the wheel is Jupiter, so this is Saturn energy. So we have Cancer and Saturn energy right here, meaning that she is working with time to do what is fated for her. She's working with her destiny to create what she's meant to create. This Chariot card tells me that there's this sense of travel, finding your sense of direction, finding what you want to do in life. So it feels like she's trying to figure that part of herself as well, trying to figure out what she wants in life, how she's going to go through with that, how is she going to move toward point A to point B. So let's see, is there anything else for Chuyu's current energy that I need to know about? Wait. So the card that we have is the Queen of Autumn. So that's again Taurus energy, self-love, persistence energy, determined, grounded, earthy, enjoying life for what it is. And then we have the Prince of Autumn, which is Virgo energy, hard work, organization, health, routine. What else am I getting? Adaptable yet stable. So she needs to know what she wants in life, so she has an easier time adapting to changes. So Taurus is a fifth sign, and a fifth sign is usually people that have a very strong opinion of what they believe in. They are very grounded in the sense that they know what they're going for, and they are very hard to change their way of thinking, their way of seeing life, and their way of working with themselves, if that makes sense. So this energy, and then you have the Prince of Autumn, which is Virgo energy, and Virgo is a mutable sign, which tend to be very adaptable, and they're pretty good and decent at going with the flow and change. But they're both earth signs, so this does feel that it has to be a grounded energy. And grounded, I'm getting present time, grounded within her values as well, and grounded with her personality. So what it is that she really wants and what she is aiming for will just naturally come through as she knows what she wants. So it's kind of like she can't take the next step until she figures out what will emotionally fulfill her, and then she will be able to figure out how to go through with that, how to follow through. There's also this sense of, I know they're fairies, but transformation could be definitely very, very important, as I'm seeing a bunch of wings and butterflies and stuff like that. Also, there's a lot of grounding energy because we have a bunch of autumn cards and very few of the other elements. So it seems like she's definitely trying to materialize something. It feels like she's definitely trying to either earn more money or create a more successful material life, or it could be another something in relation to her work and her career that she's focusing on, and that's why there's a lot of autumn energy. There's also this sense of not uh, enjoying life as much, so I feel like she may be working towards enjoying life a little bit more, but also having the physical stability needed to just enjoy life and be carefree. You know, she needs like a safety net to feel comfortable. But with all of that said, let's jump into her career and see what's going on there. What's going on with Tsuyu's career? So we have New Moon in Taurus, prosperity lies ahead. We have Gibeah's Moon, you're very close to achieving your goal. We have Surrender to the Divine, Full Moon. One more. And we also have Full Moon in Virgo, you're good enough. So again, this Taurus Virgo energy, so definitely grounded energy, earthy energy, the energy of having to, I'm getting self-love, or organizing her own ideas. Health in this, I do mean more like mental health. I'm not saying she has mental issues. I'm just saying that she needs to either think of how to think in a healthy way, or stop thinking so she can feel more, or something along those lines. Like, it's kind of like positive thinking, trying to cleanse the I can't do this, I can't do that, or this is not happening, this other thing's not happening, into something a little bit more positive, something that she could definitely use for herself in a nicer, creative way, if that makes sense. We also have with the you're very close to achieving your goal and surrender to the divine. I do feel that the way that she can achieve her goal is if she surrenders to the idea that fate is just doing what it has to do. There are things that she can control, and right now the thing that under her control is self-love, self-growth, and internal healing. But the only thing that's out of her control is the physical parts of it. Like, when opportunities arise, she needs to take action. But right now, life is working in creating those opportunities for her to slowly expand. I do feel that in her career, she may be wanting to expand internationally a little bit more. And if that's the case, life is creating those opportunities. And if she's in a healthy enough energy for herself, it will make it easier and faster to just expand and do those and see, as well as just take action towards those opportunities when they're ready for her. With the prosperity lies ahead in this new moon, it tells me that she's about to start a new chapter where abundance is going to be very good for her, in the sense like it's going to come to her. That's what I mean. This Taurus energy is slow and steady, so it's not going to come all in one hit, even though Taurus energy can be very persistent and like a bull will just go for it, whatever it is that they aim for. But Taurus is also a very slow moving energy, in the sense that they take one step at a time. They're very persistent, so they achieve their goal. But a Taurus is a patient sign, unless you push it, right? If you really push it, which is very hard, it will eventually just stumble down and crush. But most of the time, Taurus is a very persistent energy. It takes its time, because Taurus loves, it's a very focused sign, but it's also a sign that loves to just enjoy life, so they'll take their time with everything. This is a definitely very patient sign. But then we have Full Moon in Virgo, so she's ending a chapter of hard work. Usually Virgo is a sign that loves to work. They're very good at just getting work done for the sake of work. They can do things that can be boring and tedious, but a Virgo will enjoy it, because that's just what they do, and that's their natural state. The thing that could be a little bit bad about Virgos is that they tend to overthink a lot. They tend to also be a little bit too practical, that they may push their emotions to the side, but I think she kind of needs to do that, especially since we have kind of like green, which is the heart chakra, so there's definitely this sense of following her heart a little bit more than her head. There's also Virgo's also very good at organizing themselves, having a routine, being very consistent in following their routine. I do feel, however, if that routine is broken, then a Virgo just kind of stumbles down. It's like, whoa, like, this is my safety zone. Like, my safety zone. What happened to it? I do feel that with her, with Chewie, it feels like in her career, she's trying to walk away from her routine so that she can start accepting this new abundance that is being offered to her. So new opportunities, new life stuff, new career things. Let's see what other energies we have for her career. We have the vulture, which was I think at the bottom of the deck, which is air, an air element animal. So I'm getting this sense of seeing the positive within the negative, recycling the old to bring the new, or a sense of rebirth with this vulture, figuring out what doesn't work for her and shifting it to either work with her or just straight up getting rid of it. Vultures are scavengers, so they eat what's dead animals. You have the thoughts, so this is earth energy. She needs to stabilize grounded energy that is able to adapt. So it's kind of like soil that, it's like a plant that can ground themselves and root themselves very deeply, so they become like a tree that is unmovable. It's very hard to push that despite like the winds, the water, or whatever. But it also feels like she needs to be in this energy that is able to adapt. So the grounding that comes into her reading is the grounding of self-love, self-knowing, and self-knowledge as well, and self-envisioning, like being able to visualize what it is that she wants in the future, and then also having the power and knowledge to know that what she has in her present moment is what she can work with. So this is definitely grounding herself in the sense of not necessarily knowing who she is, or not necessarily trying to figure out where she's coming from. This is more about grounding herself in the present moment and acknowledging what it is in her power and what isn't. Whatever it is not in her power, surrender to the divine, or just allow destiny in the universe to do what they have to do. So again, this whole thing of being able to see opportunities when they arise and when they present themselves to her. And it also feels like one of the things that she has to do is this whole transformation of getting rid of the old, bringing in the new, transforming old into new, transforming negative into positive energy, working with her shadow self and her past self and her inner child, working through all of that to become this new version of herself, and being able to be elegant, adapt to other people, adapt to situations, adapt to goals, ideas, and stuff like that. So it kind of feels like there's a lot of good things happening for her in her career, but there's still a lot of work for herself before new opportunities arise. They're definitely coming for her, and she will be able to expand, but it's going to take some time. There's a lot of healing that she has to do within herself first. We have the Tower, and then we have Justice. So there's this, so Justice is all 2 major arcana, by the way. So this is very big. A lot of big changes are happening in her career, and I do feel they're good. So we have Mars energy, and then we have Libra energy. So there's a sense of having to ground herself for sure. We have 11, and then we have 16. So that's 7 and a 2. Working with other people, balancing herself, grounding herself, working with the divine. Working with the divine and other people is that 7. Working in balancing herself, that's a 2. That's what those numbers tend to mean. And here we have balancing herself, bringing justice to herself, being able to properly communicate not only with herself but with other people, being diplomatic and eloquent with her speech, being graceful with other people, being beautiful when interacting with other people. I do feel that there's the sense of having to bring happiness, stability with those 4 stars, grounding her dreams as well. That's important. There's also the sense of course, balance and justice. And then we have the Tower card. So in the Tower card, we have something will eventually change her life. Something could be very, very drastic, but something will eventually bring change within her life. And I feel that it could be a little bit overwhelming for her because it's an important, necessary change. And if she's not ready for it, then it could bring her a lot of difficulties, like if she's swimming against the current. but if she prepares herself, she will be able to just go with the flow. I do feel that that's why she needs to ground herself within her person, not necessarily ground herself in a physical 3D reality type of thing. So not necessarily buy a house that she's going to permanently live in, or not necessarily like I'm going to move to this place to never move again, right? This is not necessarily physically grounding herself. This is more of untangible grounding. So her ideas, her feelings, her person, the way that she looks at herself and views herself, and the way that she speaks. So a lot of like untangible things. So that's why it's weird. There's a lot of grounding because we have earth signs. We had autumn, which is Pentacles energy, which is earth again. Then right here we have the symbol for earth, which it feels like there's a lot of things that she needs to ground, but it's not necessarily in a physical way. Physical things could help her and benefit her to ground. For example, if you have crystals to help you with cleansing and grounding, those can definitely help. Or maybe if she does physical things that she enjoys, so maybe eating good food, sleeping, those things will definitely also help her with the untangible things that she does have to work through and heal. So there's this sense of, yeah, there's physical things that will help her, but that not necessarily the main goal. They're kind of like support systems. So yeah, there's something of like whatever she is standing on will whatever routine she has, right? So it's like whatever routine she has, it will eventually crumble down so she can recreate and build a balanced and healthier and stronger building on a more stable foundation, if that makes sense. That's usually what the tower means. It's like you clean slate by just getting rid of everything. You know, it's a fire type of healing. But the tower's a little bit more destructive than that. Healing with fire doesn't have to be destructive, but with a tower it is a destructive energy. It's like it just rips you. It's kind of like the vulture, right? Like it gets rid of the old, and it could seem a bit gory, seem a little bit violent, but it's definitely helping with the environment overall, right? If you see it from the bigger picture, it's helping. But if you see it from the if you see it up close, it just feels like it's horrible and it's painful and it's overwhelming. So that's why it's a tower moment. Oh, we have the prettiest card in this whole deck, which is the Empress reversed. Well, it's just the Empress, right? And we have the 10 of Wands as well. So I do feel that in her career, she definitely has to work with herself so like that she's able to say yes to whatever opportunities come through. But right now she may feel a little bit burdened with the responsibilities that she has. I do feel this 10 of Wands is referring to the routine, the established schedule that she has within her work already, but that will eventually just crumble down and she will create a new one. So I do feel that maybe this could hint to solo projects potentially, or it does feel like there's a change in dynamic within the group or within contracts that will allow her to start this new beginnings. But the only way she can do that is if she is confident within herself, if she's able to accept these new gifts and these new blessings and energy along those lines. So I do feel that her responsibilities will eventually, whatever burdens her, so whatever responsibility she carrying on her shoulders, that will eventually go away, and the weight of her shoulders will lighten the mood, will lighten the way. Her way of thinking will also kind of change a little bit because she'll be a lot more grounded. It also feels like there's this sense of needing to have confidence and trusting with the divine, because we have these yellowish orange colors in the thoughts, and that's usually your sacral and your solar plexus. Confidence, creativity, optimism, and then following whatever you're passionate about and whatever drives you forward, which is also what Mars represents. Whatever motivates you and drives you forward, that's the energy. And then we have the vulture with this purple, which is your third eye, which helps you connect with the divine, which is what we have with the surrender with the divine. So with Tsuyu's career, it does feel like she needs to continue working on herself. So what we saw previously in her current energy kind of carried off here, that if she continues working on herself and becomes this confident queen, this person that loves life, here we have Venus, and Venus is the ruler of Libra, so that's kind of something there. So enjoying life and balancing her ideas to help her communicate what she wants will definitely help her with contracts, will definitely help her with her grounding, and will definitely help her transform into this beautiful, abundant, fertile, creative type of individual that will definitely help her figure out what the next steps are within her career. But for now, she still needs to continue working on herself, because eventually this tower moment is going to happen, and whatever her routine was, whatever was grounding her physically is going to come crumbling down, and because of that she will have to definitely work on herself right now as a preparation for what is to come into the future within her career. This is supposed to be a good change, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be an easy one. But with all of that said, let's go into her love life and see what is going on over there. In Tsuyu's love life, let's see what is going on. So I find it funny because I feel like my head is overheating somehow. Like, it's one of those things that I am thinking, I am feeling very, very warm out and over. And you know how, like, when you have machinery, when it overheats, it shuts down after a while? That's kind of how I feel my head is going. Like, there's so... Like, I'm not necessarily thinking of anything, but it feels like she's probably overthinking something a lot. And that's why I'm getting, like, this overwhelming energy and this warmth going from my neck up to my head. So I don't know, I think that's important to point out. So let's see, for Tsuyu's love life, we have the lion. I felt called to taking out 5 cards, so I don't know what's going on there. We have the bee, we have the hyena, so definitely a lot of hard work, something lurking from the shadows. That's what I got with the hyena. So for her love life, what do we feel? What's going on? Well, since it is, we have the dolphin, we have the tiger, and we have the cosmic egg, which is a crown chakra. Okay. So there's this sense of okay. So it feels like you have Tsuyu's energy, and she's working very hard because we have this bee spirit. So she's working very, very hard in her work. She's concentrating on that a lot. And because of that, she may feel like she is seeing everything in black and white. Like, she can't... She's working very, very hard that I don't think she realizes how much she desires to have a beautiful love life. I feel that out of pride she continues focusing on her work, but I also feel like she feels love is a dangerous game, or she feels like, or there's this energy that she wants, but it's like a, what is it called, enemies to lovers connection potentially. So she may like someone that is her competition, or they see each other as competition, but more from her side, I feel. Because we have this hyena, and I'm getting this energy, there's this fire energy of pride getting in the way. I do feel there's also this energy that is like looking away from her potential partner, but her partner is looking at her. Whatever love interest just happened to go through is someone that is actually very happy, someone that is that loves to look at the people they like, if that makes sense. So this could be someone that is very intense. So they may like to stare at her. This person seems to be very conscious, very open spiritually, because we have water, and then we have a spirit card with that circle. The cosmic egg is crown chakra energy, so someone that connects with the divine pretty quickly, actually. The crown chakra is usually one that has reached alignment somehow, and to me it feels like you know how to use it more when you connect it to the third eye, which is when you see what cannot be seen. You are able to see energies that are not as common to other people. But this seems to be an individual that is happy, that likes to play around, not a player, but someone that but more like a childlike energy of someone that likes to enjoy life. And you see these colors, that means that their chakras are very well aligned, because it feels like you have all the colors of the rainbow right here, and the chakras are the colors of the rainbow. Then this tiger energy with this moon in the third eye kind of shows that this is someone that is subconsciously very well connected, but I'm not too sure if they're conscious about it. So what I mean is that their moon could be in a water sign, that's one thing that I got, or they could be a sun in a water sign, if that makes sense. So this is someone that is definitely like their waters run deep, their creativeness runs very deep as well, and also their spirituality as well as their emotions. So they really are someone that is very emotionally attached to her, but I don't necessarily think it's an unhealthy clinginess. It's definitely just the natural way of this person's being. However, we have this lion energy in between them, so I do feel that this is more towards Chuy's energy. Like, she works very hard, and this fire energy is just focusing on taking action towards her career, towards her work. The words that she speaks is for her career and her work, so she definitely doesn't concentrate, nor does she focus too much on love, even though it feels like she does desire it a lot. Because I mentioned earlier that my throat chakra closed when I was talking about the different sections that I read for this individual readings. When I said love messages and healing messages, I felt my throat chakra just close. So there's something that is not meant to be said, or things are not, or communication's not flowing through in this romantic relationship, or there's a lot of overthinking that is going on. I do feel that Shui sees this person as part of the competition, or they see each other as competition somehow. However, this person seems to be a little bit more aware that they like her, even though she may be too focused on her work to even think of this person as a potential romantic interest. Now let's see what energies are in between them. We have full moon in Scorpio. It's time to release negativity. So there's definitely this intense energy of having to have rebirth for both of them. This is Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto. So definitely rebirth is important. Transformation is important. I was thinking of the death card. The death card represents a sense of rebirth, death and rebirth, and I do feel that that's something they both kind of have to go through before they can even be in a relationship. Why is that the case? Because they're both very focused on their own thing, which is completely fine, but their idea of love and their idea of work needs to have, they need to upgrade that somehow, right? Adapt to their situation and make room for love. I feel that they both kind of do have to make some room for love. And then we have full moon in Libra. A win-win outcome is forecasted. So I do feel that this romantic relationship will be successful. It's just that they're both not necessarily in the mentality for love, at least not yet. So let's see for Chewy what's going on. So we have new moon in Aquarius, bring love into the situation. So I do feel that with Chewy, she just needs to be open to the idea of love in order to bring love in. So let's see for her romantic partner. We have first quarter moon, your commitment is being tested. Okay, so maybe this person is a player, or they're not. They like to play around, and because of that, they don't like to take things too seriously. And if that's the case, romance may not be something they take seriously. Because I do feel that this person is someone that not necessarily has commitment issues, but they're so committed that they do take their time before they say yes to a commitment. So, in other words, they're not playing around. If this person starts a romantic relationship, they're not playing around with this person. They mean it seriously, but they don't like to get hurt. On the outside, it may seem like this person likes to play around, likes to be happy, and is very carefree and light, but this person actually carries this heavy, deeper energy of, I do think it's like a spirituality type of thing, that they're so in tune with themselves that they know they're protected, so they don't have to take life too seriously. The whole point is just to enjoy life and learn the lessons that have to be learned, which is hence the full moon in Scorpio. But it also feels like this person knows who are the people that just want a romantic relationship, and then who are the people that do want a long-lasting long-lasting romantic relationship, right? So I do feel that this person is able to see very well who does want an actual relationship and who is just playing around or who's just learning. So this person seems to not be playing around with relationships, even though on the outside they like to just enjoy life and they may seem a bit childish to some people, or that they don't take life too seriously. But no, this person does, and that's why it takes them a while to actually commit to a relationship, because of how seriously they take it. And with Tzuyu, it does feel like she just needs to open up to love and be okay with loving someone or having love in her life before she can make it work. However, it does feel that if they continue working towards their difficulties and their issues, they will eventually be able to make this relationship a success. So I kind of want to see how will people see them when they're together, like together as a relationship. So the card that we got was the King of Cups. So they will feel emotionally stable, emotionally mature. Not immature, mature. Like, they know what's up. It feels like they will be fulfilled, content, very powerful. This is Cancer energy, so people are going to see like the loving side of their connection. They're going to see the mature, grounded one. I do feel this could be someone that she will end up marrying. But it's not going to be an easy relationship, because it's going to take a while for both of them to be able to look at each other in a romantic way. Even if they already know each other, it's going to take a while. And if they don't know each other, well, there you go. They have work to do before they can even, before life can even put them in each other's paths. But I do think they already know each other. So yeah, there's this sense of feeling successful, being creative, that people are going to love their creativity. I have a feeling that they're going to look very good together and people will admire that, but it also feels like that's because they work very hard to make sure the relationship works. Okay, what other love messages do we have for Tzuyu? Oh, we have the Magician. She can definitely make anything happen in this relationship, but I do feel that there's other stuff that she's working on right now. And we have the Sun. So another two major arcana. So I do feel that Tzuyu is just going through all of the important things in her life. We have the Sun, we have the Magician. So and then bring love into the situation. So she's definitely working on herself, working on her life, working in chapters in life that are very important for her. She's manifesting things, she's creating things, she is enjoying life, being optimistic, loving herself, shining very brightly. So this is definitely the energy of creation, the energy of being happy, optimistic, and creating a better life for herself. So not only is she doing this in her career, she's also doing this in her love life. So she's definitely going through a lot of changes of emotional fulfillment and stability, and she's doing this in all areas of her life. So she's definitely working on herself, and that explains why she has to do that. If she continues working on herself, everything else in her life is just going to start like settling down. So let's see for her partner. Wait, we have the Page of Pentacles. So this person is learning how to communicate appropriately, how to communicate accordingly. Wait, is it the Page of Swords? It's not on a horse, so it's probably the Page of Swords. Hold up. Let me look at another. Yeah, it's the Page of Swords. Right, because it's not a horse. Okay, so yeah, so we have the Page of Swords. So this is definitely baby energy. This is the energy of someone that is barely learning how to communicate. Seems like this is someone that is so in their head, but it's like spiritually they're so connected that they kind of forgot that they have to talk to other people to communicate on Earth. If that makes sense. So this person kind of has very good telepathic abilities, so they kind of forget that even if they're very good at reading other people, this person kind of forgets that they have to talk to other people so they understand this person, right? So this person is working on that right now. They're working on learning how to communicate. They're also working on focusing their energy. I do feel that this person it's a little bit of a scatterbrain. Oh, there you go. We have also this Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is Pisces energy, so definitely very in tune. This person could be a Pisces because I'm getting a lot of water energy, or could have a moon in Pisces. I do feel that that's very important. even an ascendant Pisces, so very strong Pisces energy. So this person seems to be an individual that gets very stressed when they communicate. They tend to overthink sometimes, but that's because they don't really know how to ground their energy in a 3D type of way. They don't know how to materialize their thoughts sometimes. However, this feels like this is someone that is very enthusiastic about love, someone that is very loving and caring, and they want to offer this cup of love to her. But again, she's not really looking at this individual, so it's gonna take a while for this person to be noticed. She sees this individual as competition. We have a tiger, we have a lion. There's a lot of pride here that is getting in the way, but I do feel that it's more on her side rather than on her partner. However, this person wants to offer their cup of love, and usually the cup of love, I say cup of love because cups represent our emotions, our creativity, and our spirituality. So the heart, in a way. So this person wants to offer their heart, wants to offer this, I want to love you and take care of you and be with you for the rest of my life type of thing. So very romantic. So this person could be a hopeless romantic or straight up just romantic. And they are very good at showing how they love someone, but I do feel that Tzuyu is not necessarily emotionally connected to the point where they will be able to just understand this individual. Like, this individual will have to learn how to speak up, because I do feel this person is kind of keeps to themselves and is very quiet and just observes and feels and is sensitive enough to feel others' energy. So it could be an empath type of thing, but yeah. The other thing that I'm kind of getting is that this person may be going through a lot of things that are stressing them out, and because of that there's a lot of negativity that they have to deal with and heal and overcome, and because of that this person may be a little bit stressed. It's like, I want to show the best, if you see this person is like, I want to show the best version of myself to the person I like and I want to be with, but I'm not there yet. So it does feel like this person is working through being a little bit more stable, being ready for commitment, and definitely having no baggage to bring to the relationship. Because she ain't looking at this person, so imagine if this person was not okay. She definitely is not looking at the person, definitely not worthy to be with her. That's kind of the energy I'm getting. Remember, there's a lot of pride in this connection. But with all of that said, I'm going to put this away and let's jump into the healing messages that we have for Tzuyu, because I'm not too sure what's going to go through. So let's check it out. So what healing messages do we have for Tzuyu? So we have the Beaver Spirit, lay a solid foundation. She will definitely have an opportunity to start over in her career somehow. Remember, this is another set, so balance, give and take for herself and the world and others as well. So yeah, lay a solid foundation made me think of the Tower card that we saw in her career, so that could definitely be important. We have the Outer Spirit, you are never alone. So this reminds me of the Five of Pentacles reverse that we saw in the current energy. But also the Outer Spirit shows this heart, so it could be like, you know, there's romance out there for you, you just need to be open for it. The fact that it's reversed kind of shows me that the Outer Spirit is there to tell her and remind her that she's definitely not alone, she will be protected and they're taking care of her. And when it's reversed, it's not like matter of fact. When it's reversed, is like a protective message of, we are actively working towards this. Like her spirit guides are actively trying to remind her that she's not alone, trying to actively remind her that she's working with them as well. Just that they're not physically there with her doesn't mean they're not there, if that makes sense. We also have the Wasp Spirit reversed. Sometimes life stinks. So I feel that the fact that this one's reversed is to remind her of the positive things about life, of trying to remind her of the positive things when life sucks. So this Wasp Spirit is supposed to be there to remind her and tell her, you know, sometimes when things don't work out, it's because we need to get rid of them so we can make space for new things. So we can transform the negative into positive energy. So we can work with what, you know, it's kind of like, if something doesn't work out, it's so you can have enough room for something else to be there. It's kind of like it's like making up space in her schedule for new opportunities or better opportunities, and she just doesn't see that yet because of her expectations and her ideas of what she thought works and what she thinks doesn't work. So what other healing messages do we have? we have the wolf spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. So this is definitely turn your own experiences and other experiences into wisdom. So whatever she learns is supposed to be able to internalize that information, adapt it, and adjust it to understand how that functions for her and to her, if that makes sense. So you guys don't even know what happened. So I was recording like I usually do, and then at one point I looked up to see how the how the how the light was looking, how the cards were looking into frame, and all of that. And as I was doing that, I realized that the it stopped recording. So I do have the audio of what I was saying, but I do not have like a minute or two of what I was recording visually. I'm just going to summarize what I said. I don't really know how I'm going to edit this so like that you guys so you guys see what you missed. All you guys missed was me taking out another card and the whole explanation of these two cards. However, one of the things that I find interesting is that I went back to check until where did the phone stop recording. So because I do have the audio of it, but I don't have the visual of it, and it kind of stopped recording when I was explaining what the outer spirit was all about. And in that card, it stopped right in the moment where I was saying that she was not alone. So there's a chance that Tsuyu's going through it and thinking that she's literally on her own. She doesn't know what's up. She may be going through a moment where she may be rushing through things a little bit, or she may feel like things are not working the way that she will have liked to, and because of that, she's on her own on this one. It does feel like there's this sense of having to figure things out by herself, and even if she knows that she is not alone, that doesn't take away the fact that she feels like she is alone. So this is definitely something that she has to heal for herself, so that she can allow other people to work with her, or so she can work with other people and stuff along those lines. So yeah, that's kind of what I felt could have been the case as to why my phone stopped recording for some reason. I'm not too sure why. It's not like it ran out of space, because it definitely has enough space, but I don't know, I just thought it was interesting. I was like, okay, wherever it stopped recording, it's something that I have to highlight for her reading. And well, here I am highlighting that part of it. But I'm going to summarize what the other two cards were, which the Wasp Spirit, the fact that it's reversed, is supposed to remind her, now this is, I'm highlighting it again because I'm repeating it, it's supposed to tell her that sometimes things will be difficult, things will not go how she wants to, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. It's like if she was scheduling something. Sometimes she has to get rid of things that are not right for her, so that she can make room for things that are for her, that will benefit her and will be a lot more emotionally satisfying for her. It's kind of like scheduling with her work, right? The only difference is that her spirit guides have a higher point of view, so they can actually see, okay, this is not what you're asking for, we're gonna get it out of the way, but this is, so we're gonna eventually make an opportunity for you to take it, right? But if you were too busy with the first thing, then you wouldn't have had time to actually look at the second thing that we are offering you, that is actually what you're looking for. So I do feel that that's what it means with sometimes life stinks, is that sometimes things don't go as planned, and that's perfectly fine. That's the whole point. And the other thing that I'm getting is the two cards that Tzuyu got for her career, which was the Taurus and Virgo energy, and how the Virgo energy was supposed to symbolize that she will eventually have to get rid of her routine, of her schedule, to make room for this new opening, this new chapter, and this new opportunities coming into her life to give her a lot more abundance and prosperity. Now, the Wolf Spirit, I was mentioning, the turn knowledge into wisdom, is usually she's a Gemini, so it's kind of like transforming a Gemini into a Sagittarius, going into the higher knowledge. Instead of just processing information and learning fun facts, it's turning that knowledge into wisdom, and by that it is turning what it is that they know, that intellectual side of them, and applying it to themselves and to other people, by adding the significance of it, like, why is this important, why does this happen? It's kind of like digging deeper into whatever knowledge it is that she already has and applying it to herself by internalizing and analyzing that information. So let's say something happens to someone she cares about, so then she will have to ask herself, why did that happen? Okay, this person is like this, that's why it happened. Okay, this person tends to be like that, that's why they see it this way. And that will definitely help her get that wisdom that will be applied to her when she internalizes that information, because it's like, okay, she's able to realize that the people all around her are constant mirrors to what she's going through. So she will also, when she turns knowledge into wisdom, she's going to realize that sometimes the things that she says are a reflection of not only herself, but also what that other person has to hear. And then also the way that she processes information is a reflection of herself. So if someone says something to her and she feels triggered by it, that says a lot more about herself than it says about that person. And sometimes people will say things to her that she's like, I don't even know why you're saying that. That says a lot more about them than it says about her, if that makes sense. So that's when she has become wise, when she has turned this knowledge into wisdom. But now let's take out more cards to see what other healing messages there are for her. I do feel that there's a lot of advice that is going to be coming through for her that is essential. So we have the cow spirit reverse. The miracles are endless. So the fact that it's reversed kind of tells me that she may not see this right now, that Tzuyu may feel like everything, like if she had a blindfold over her eyes and she can't see that a lot of beautiful things are coming for her, to her, with her, something like that. It does feel like this card is talking about all the Taurus energy that we have seen in her current energy and her career, those sections of her reading. And it's kind of saying a lot of beautiful things are going to happen, even if you don't see it right now. Life may suck right now. It feels like you're on your own. It feels like you're going to have these tower moments where everything's destroyed. But it's so you can rebuild a better thing for yourself. It's so like that we can get rid of the baggage that's holding you back. And so we can make room for all the positive. And so we can have the resources needed for the positive. It's like if we get rid of the things that are occupying your mind right now, we will be able to make room for you to be able to see the opportunities that you were not even thinking of or even knew were possible. So I do feel that this cow spirit is supposed to show her that a lot of beautiful things are happening, and it's supposed to be good stuff. So right now that she feels that only bad stuff is happening is because it has to make room for the good, or for the better, or for what's needed actually. So another message that we have is a swan spirit, time for a deep dive. This is a huge sign of having to, in order for Tzuyu to go through the transformation that she has to go through to become to blossom into this beautiful flower, to become this beautiful swan, is if she does shadow work, inner child healing, and internalizing her information and looking deep within her, so like that she is able to become this empress, become this emperor that's confident, become this stable, grounded Taurus type of energy that we saw in her current energy and her love life. Oh no, in her career. It was just her career. It didn't appear in her love life. In her love life, we got to work through release the negativity, which I do feel both her and her partner have to do in order to love themselves a little bit more, and like that will help both of them see the beauty of life and see the opportunities and all these beautiful things in abundance. And that's another 6. So yeah, a lot of equal give and take, balance for sure, and good luck. Good luck is the other word that I got. So we have the groundhog spirit, time to let go. So yeah, let go of negativity is something that I was getting, but also one thing that I got, in order for her to lay a solid foundation, she has to look deep within to figure out what it is that is not helping her be stable. And in this case, we have the you are never alone and the groundhog spirit, time to let go. So she needs to let go of the ideas that are holding her back. She needs to let go of this mentality that she has to do things on her own, that she has to figure it out on her own. Like, life is like, we're working with you, so don't worry about, just because we're not physically there, which is I think something I mentioned with this one. Just because we're not physically there, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do everything on your own. We are there, we're helping you, we're like backstage, we're like the staff on the background helping you do things, and we don't need necessarily the credit or anything, so you don't have to see us. We're just doing the work, offering you those opportunities. It's up to Tzuyu to take those opportunities though. Then we have the squirrel spirit, believe in yourself, and it's underneath sometimes life stinks. So I do feel that sometimes she may feel very discouraged when things don't work out the way that she thought they will work out. This also reminded me of the full moon. I think, yeah, it was a full moon in Virgo. You are enough, which is supposed to remind her that she needs to believe that fate will do what has to do, destiny will do what they have to do as well, and the people that have to be there for her whenever they have to be there for her will get there eventually. So this is definitely like, have patience, have confidence in yourself. It's like, if things are not working out in her life, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with her. It just means that sometimes things have to Sometimes things have to just settle down the way that I have to settle down before she can take a move. So sometimes life tells us, stop, let me do what I have to do, and then I'll let you know when you can continue. And sometimes life is constantly pushing us to do things, so then things can start working out, right? And sometimes you just have to work with them to get things happening. So I do feel that right now, the only thing that she has to do is continue working with herself so that she's ready for when life is ready to offer those opportunities towards Tzuyu, or for her. The other girl that we have is the hummingbird spirit. Be here now. So remember how I mentioned and her, I think it was her current energy, that if she grounded herself and stabilized herself and this carried over into her career, she will be able to get those opportunities, right? Because I do feel that her grounding is mainly about not physical things, it's about living in the present and leaving behind negativity, leaving behind any baggage, and leaving behind any limiting beliefs that she may have had that are not allowing for abundance to flow naturally through her life. So I do feel that this hummingbird spirit is kind of reminding her to live in the present moment so like that she can continue moving forward and seeing the benefits life is giving to her and providing for her. The other thing that I'm getting is that if she turns this knowledge into wisdom, she's going to be able to live more in the present and understand the benefits of being in the present moment rather than focusing so much into the future or focusing so much towards the past. So let's see what last card we have for Tzuyu. The last card that we have, the Sandpiper Spirit. Be playful, but it's reversed. I do feel that sometimes she takes life a little bit too seriously, in the sense that life is sometimes like, it's okay to have fun. Sometimes having fun will help her and guide her towards the path that she has to be in to continue with her life. I do feel that she takes her career, not necessarily her career, but her life very, very seriously, to a point where sometimes she kind of forgets that part of life is to just be happy and just to enjoy it, enjoy the journey, and focus a little bit less on the results, because I do feel that sometimes to get where she wants to get, it's not really in her power. So sometimes results don't necessarily say where she's how things are going to be for the rest of her life. Results just kind of tell you where things are going at the present moment, if that makes sense. Expectations are something that sometimes, they help us survive. Expectations and anticipation also helps us stay motivated and look forward towards the future. But I'm also getting that it's also healthy to stay in the moment to realize how we can reach that future, right? It's all those things that I'm getting, that if Tzuyu were to continue focusing on concentrating in her present moment, it will definitely help her be able to see far beyond without feeling the weight of, as in like heavy energy, right? Or this pressure of I kind of forgot what I was saying. The pressure of how will she get there, if she will get there, or stuff, or like when, right? So I do feel that life is saying just enjoy the moment, enjoy the journey. Remember that that's very important, because that will help you feel a little bit more alive, feel grounded, and feel like you're doing what you have to do, even if it's just a little step towards what she wants in the long run. So I do feel that Tzuyu may be focusing a little bit too much into her future, and because of that, she's kind of forgetting to enjoy the present moment, and that is probably what's making her feel out of balance, and probably the reason why we had a bunch of pentacles and autumn energy in the beginning of her of this video, which is supposed to kind of remind her, hey, ground yourself. But this is definitely a present moment type of thing, not physical grounding. So none of that boo poopy that always angers me, right? When they say grounding, they're like, go out into nature, go do this, go do that, and it's like, if you're like a heavy thinker, doing that is not really going to help. Doing that is just going to make you feel like you're wasting time. So definitely so I do feel that sometimes grounding is just better to tell people that sometimes grounding means live in the present moment and do what you feel you have to do to be in that present moment. Yeah, meditating and going out onto earth and feeling earth or whatever, like, that could be very beneficial, but the only way you can do that is if you have already a sense of grounding. It's very hard to do that when you're very up into the when your head is really up into the clouds and you don't know what you're doing. It's kind of hard to come back down. So yeah, that's what I'm getting for Chuy's individual reading. Thank you for everyone that was watching this video. I feel like her healing messages were definitely very, very important, and one of the lengthiest parts of her reading I think is very, very, very interesting, because for many other people it's like the healing messages are kind of summarizing the whole video or summarizing the other aspects of her of the person's reading, but with Chui it felt like these are genuine healing messages or genuine guidance, and by that I mean that if she were ever to watch this video, this guidance will definitely be beneficial, or for whoever watches this video, whatever it is that you want to take away from this reading, feel free to take it, because that's definitely the guidance and advice that you want. Feel free to take it and use it for whatever it is that you need, because I do feel that her messages were not necessarily heavy in the sense that I feel drained, more as in heavy as in it carry enough weight to say, oh, this is important, if that makes sense. I do feel that the whole thing that we got, the camera stopped working for a little bit, so then I'm like, oh, we missed like 2 minutes of the video. At least I have the audio, so I'll figure out how that's gonna work out. But that's for me, that's not for you guys to worry about. Also, I really, really hope you guys enjoyed this video, or you learned something from it, or at least that it was fun. I do hope that you have a little bit more of an idea of what you want to do in life. I don't know why that kind of came into my mind, but yeah, or at least how to go about it. So yeah, thank you to everyone that has subscribed. I am very happy and glad you have done that. It makes me happy to see this number slowly growing up. And feel free to comment anything that you want to comment down below that will make you happy. Show a lot of love to Chewy and to the rest of Twice. And their comeback is coming soon, so look forward to that. I'm not necessarily expecting their comeback, because I'm one of those people that when it comes out I'm like, yes, but before that I kind of forget it exists, because I'm too busy thinking of other stuff. I think I don't know, I kind of forget. If I forget, that's good. That means that I don't have to wait. It just happens. So yeah. Anyway, with all of that said, love and healing from my part to you. See you the next time, whenever that is, however that is. And thank you once again for watching this video. Bye.